Cheers, I do buckaroos, and how the heck are you? Now that we are live, I'm going to try to fix something here real fast. I'll be right back with you. I am paying attention to you. Don't you worry about it. Anyways, I am Tom the Beer Whisperer for the purposes of this video anyway. Fix that up real fast, and we're back in business. Anyways, like I said, I am Tom the Beer Whisperer. I've got one from Banter Brewing. It is their Iron Gospel, or their flagship IPAs, boasting big tropical fruit notes. Man, this latest incarnation is just insane. The aromatics are just gorgeous, man. A lot of big tropical fruit, a lot of big citrus as well. Trying to fix something up real fast. Anyways, oh god, that's amazing. So again, a lot of big tropical fruit, but a lot of citrus as well. A mango, passion fruit, pineapple come up right away. But then certainly getting some grapefruit, some tangerine in there as well. Yep, back into. Anyways, wow, it's just gorgeous. So I've got a 32-ounce growler here, so roughly 2 pints. But I've got a little smaller glass here, so I'm not pouring a full pint at a time. Trying to give it the, give it the treatment here. Good beer, man. I'm not a huge fan of hazies. I've been on record for saying that for, well, probably more than a decade now. I don't necessarily hate the style. I just don't think it's the be all end all that some people think it is. It'll never be a go to for me because I just don't like those. I don't want my beer to taste like fruit. I don't want my beer to taste like fruit salad. I don't want my beer to taste like an Orange Julius. I don't want it to taste like a mimosa. I want beer to taste like a beer. I guess I'm an old school guy that way. I am. I'm an old guy, so yeah, I want beer to taste like beer. I get why some of the younger folks like the different flavors. A lot of folks that didn't grow up with actual beer, but for those of us that grew up with actual beer, we tend to like our beer to taste like, well, beer. But this one is done so impeccably well, you can't help but like it. The flavors, the aromas, everything is just spot on. It is just aromatically pleasing. Although this is a hazy, it's not as hazy. It's not as murky as a lot of them are. Hazy used to mean this. Hazy used to mean you can't see through. But a lot of these beers are just so milky and murky. They're just disgusting to look at. Some of a lot of the breweries that are trying to make shortcuts are adding flour to get that murky look. Just make a good beer, right? I don't care what you're known for. I don't care what your brewery is known for. I don't care. If you can't make a decent classic style, whether it be a Pilsner, a Dunkel, even an English Mile, whatever, if you can't make one good classic style, you are not a brewer. You're that one guy that's got that one good trick. That's all you are. I will not go to a brewery that can't make it. If you don't have one classic style on your menu board, I'm done. Done. I'm not even going to order a beer. I'm out. Man, I'm going somewhere else, man. I'm going to go to some place that knows how to make beer and not make trendy liquids that for a specific crowd. Oh, mercy, that beer is good, man. The beer, that's solid, baby. That's a beer, baby. That's a beer. Yeah, like I said, I don't necessarily hate the style, but I think it's been overdone. And there's just a small handful of breweries really doing a great one. And there are breweries out there that have got 10 beers on the menu and 8 of them are hazy IPAs. I thought, well, what's the point of that? You- You've got 8 beers that basically taste almost the same. You got one ingredient different between all these 8 beers. uh, because you've got folks that come in. Wearing flannel and glasses that think they know what everything tastes like. Ah, mercy. I don't know. Just make a beer, right? If you can't make a classic style, or German, English, Czech, I don't care. If you can't make a classic, Belgian, let's say Belgian, if you can't make at least one good classic style, you got no business calling yourself a brewer. If you're adding adjuncts and everything else, you're doing anything you can to make everything hazy and fruity, you're not a brewer. You're a pretender. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, I'm a bit old school about that. Well, Tom, what makes you an expert? Nothing. I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing an opinion with you. Never claimed to be an expert. I don't even claim to be a beer reviewer like so many guys out there reviewing beers that have no business calling themselves beer reviewers. I've never once referred to myself as a beer reviewer. I don't consider myself a beer reviewer. I don't like the title. I don't like the moniker. I don't like it at all because a reviewer is a critic. Their job is to find something wrong. Every time I have a beer, I'm looking for everything to be right. Unless it's a glaring flaw, I'm okay with it. Not every flavor has to be perfect and tailor made for me. And that is my issue with a lot of so-called beer reviewers out there, is they think every flavor has to be tailor made for them. If they don't like a beer, it's not a good beer. No. If you're going to call yourself a beer reviewer, you've got to be able to tell if that beer is flawed. If that beer is not flawed, you have to say so. You can say these flavors are not for me, but this beer is put together well. If you don't have the ability to do that, you have no business calling yourself a beer reviewer. You're just an asshole. And you're just an asshole trying to get attention. That's why I hate that term beer reviewer. I really do. It's like movie critic. I hate it, man. Because the word critic means you're trying to find something wrong. Try to find everything right. I don't think every beer is for me. I know that when I have a beer someplace, okay, this one might not be for me, but it doesn't do anything wrong. And if you're going to call yourself a beer reviewer, you need to be able to know that. If that beer isn't flawed, say that. This beer isn't flawed, but these flavors don't work for me, but they may work for you. But don't say it's a bad beer because there's a flavor there that you don't like. Is it flawed? Well, no, Tom, it's not flawed. I just don't like this. Well, then don't fucking drink it. Don't fucking drink it, you asshole. Anyways, I get frustrated with the whole mess. Tom, aren't you part of the whole mess? Well, yes, I am. And therein lies the problem, right? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. I think we're all part of the problem. I would like to be part of the solution. Um, the problem is that it's just the whole nature of craft beer, right? It lends itself to a lot of pretentiousness, and I've kind of railed against that my whole foray into doing you know videos and that sort of thing. I've kind of railed against that pretentiousness, but there's just no stopping it. You've got folks that are convinced that they know everything there is to know about beer because they've tasted 10, or they've made 2 videos, or they've watched 10 videos. All of a sudden everybody's an expert. None of us are an expert. I've been making videos for over 10 years now. I've been drinking what's called craft beer since the beginning of craft beer. Okay, I won't say that actually because I wasn't old enough when New Albion first came on the market. But I'll say I've been doing this since '86 when I've been of legal drinking age. So if I wasn't there from the beginning, I was there awful close to it. And I will tell you that none of us, even people that really think they're experts, no sure if you can hear me or not. Can't see shit at the moment. I'm not sure. It's still counting down. Anyways, I don't know if I upset the powers that be with that tirade. I don't know what just happened there, man. Everything went blank for a second. How about that? But I'm still going. Anyway, I'm still going, man. Anyways, I digress. Wow, man. I've never had that happen before. I've got good internet here. I've never had it drop off like that before. No, actually, that's not true. I'll say I haven't had that happen before. I haven't had that happen since I got rid of fucking MediaCom because MediaCom sucks. But I used to have that happen all the time. But with this new internet, this is the first time I've had that happen where it just dropped off completely. That was weird, man. That was weird, man. Anyway, if anybody's got any questions or comments, please put it up there. Maybe I've got somebody complaining. I've got a handful of haters out there. I mean, I've been doing this for over a decade now. Of course, I've got some haters out there. It's just the nature of the business. You've got folks that have just such these miserable ass lives that they don't want to be happy, so they want to spend their time making you miserable. I've never got that mentality, to be honest with you. I hate this person, so I'm going to do nothing but watch their videos and complain. There's no, there's no way to make that make sense, right? But I've got folks that do that. They say they hate me. They don't want anything to do with me. I'm just a terrible human being, but they will watch every video I make. That just doesn't make any good sense, does it? People I don't want anything to do with what I do. I don't have anything to do with them. anyways, anyways, I digress. There's just no way to make sense out of some folks. Some people just want to be miserable. They lead these sad, pathetic lives, and they want to bring you down because you're not leading one. You're doing you're having your best life. You're doing good. You're feeling good. You're trying to stay upbeat, and so they want to hammer you. They want to pick on every little bit of your life, every aspect of your life, and try to make you feel bad about yourself because they feel bad about themselves. They're just horrible excuses for human beings, and they want to make you feel bad that you don't feel that way. Know what to say to that? Fuck you. And the horse you rode in on. No, no, that's not true. I don't have any ill feelings about your horse. I hope your horse leads a nice life. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I digress. But I digress. I digress, man. You feel that glass back up. Iron Gospel. Hazy IPA, flagship hazy from Banter Brewing, Springfield, Missouri. Look at that. So hazy. It's not as hazy as most hazies, I will say. But look at that. Hazy means you can't see through it. Hazy doesn't mean it has to look like milk. Just those that look like the old milky and murky shit. No, no. Yeah, your IPA isn't hazy. It's murky as hell. Looks like somebody. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say that joke again. Anyways, I digress. Lunch. Oh man, that beer is just gorgeous. But here's the thing. I do love this beer. The main reason I'm just not a fan of the style as a whole is that I just can't drink a lot of it, right? I love traditional beer styles. I want a traditional pilsner. I want traditional IPA. A lot of beers that are so fruit forward, and they tend to get one dimensional for me. Once I've had one, I feel like I got it figured out. Well, the truth is, if you have a perfectly done pilsner, you're never going to have that beer figured out. No matter how simplistic it feels right at the start, you're never going to quite figure it out because it's just brewed so impeccably well. I remember when they first revived that new Albion ale. Sam Adams brought it back out. What about 2012? I guess it was maybe something like that. When I first had that beer, I expected to. I didn't expect to hate it. I expected to like it, but I expected to say, "Okay, this is good. It's all right." I drank that beer and I thought, "Huh." It was like simple perfection. And I got to be honest, up to that point, I really don't know that I had anything quite like that. Even though I've had the craft beer up to that point, I drank that version of New Albion, and I thought, damn. But there are other folks that thought, well, it was kind of a, it didn't go far enough. But I thought, man, those folks are missing all the subtleties. So you've got a good steak, you don't need to use blackened seasoning to make it better, right? And it's how you got lobster, you don't need to season the hell out of it. Just get it done, add some butter. And that's how I felt about that revival of New Albion. Because I remember seeing some reviews about it, and I typically try to avoid all reviews, but it was just unavoidable in the craft beer world at the time. So I remember thinking, okay, you're gonna like this beer, Tom, but it's gonna be average. You're gonna say, okay, that's good, but when I drank that beer, I thought, no, that's good, and there is no but. I mean, just the subtleties, just it was for me. It was the brewing genius, right? You can even tell. You drink that beer, you go, oh my god, whoever invented this recipe should be a certified genius because that beer is brilliant. And I'll be honest with you, I was kind of surprised that more people didn't get it. Because it was like, you've got this perfectly done Wagyu ribeye. Why would you want to put blackened seasoning on it? Yes, that's how I felt about that. Is that you got this, it's just beer done perfectly. It doesn't need anything else. It doesn't need to be bigger, doesn't need anything. This is a brewing perfection. And I kind of feel like the craft beer industry as a whole has kind of moved away from brewing perfection uh brewing, what's the word I'm looking for, gimmicks. It just seems like everything has to be a gimmick of some sort. Everything has to be a sour, a milkshake, a this, a that, a pastry, a hazy, a juicy. We can't just make beer anymore because that's just too simple. Everything has to have some sort of a gimmick. It has to have maple syrup, peanut butter, uh, marshmallows. Everything has to have a gimmick, and just I guess I'm just too old at this point. I don't want any of the gimmicks. I just want to go to a craft brewery that's making actual beer. I love to walk in when I see actual beer on the menu. If I see a Pilsner, if I see a Dunkel, if I see a Schwarzbier, if I see an English mild, if I see a traditional brown, even a stout or a porter. I mean, I want something done right. I don't need a porter to have vanilla, peanut butter, or anything else. I want to see a porter. I want to see a stout. I want to see, again, a Schwarzbier, a Dunkel, anything just done right, true to style. You don't have to monkey with everything, folks. Some things are better left alone. Just leave it alone, man. There's a reason why these styles have been done for hundreds of years, in some cases, thousands. Just leave them the fuck alone. They don't need vanilla. They don't need peanut butter. They don't need blackberry. Just make the damn beer. Anyways, I digress. I get off my soapbox here. But it just feels like that's kind of where we are in craft beer these days. And again, I've said this ad nauseum at this point, but I've come to grips with the fact that I'm no longer the demographic that craft breweries are brewing for. I mean, hell, I don't get out often or at all. I mean, I have a mug at Springfield Brewing Company here in town, and I've been there 6 times this year. Clearly, the mug is not paying for itself. I just don't get anywhere. But there was a time I would hit someplace once a week. But you've got these guys, the 20 to 30 somethings, or 35, 20, let's say 21, 21 to maybe just under 40. These guys are going out all the time. They're drinking, they're spending money. That's the crowd they're brewing for. So if you're in that demographic, if those are the beers you like, that's what they're brewing for. But you got old guys like me constantly complaining about the state of affairs these days. We got to come to the grips with the fact that it's no longer about us. It might have been at some point. That's why the beer was about us for a while, but we no longer matter. Right. Wear that extra fringe at this point. Hey, wear that extra beer. Right. I'm walking, no, you got a fresh hot pilsner. I'm all in. I'm all in, baby. I'm gonna order that. I'm not gonna order your triple your triple hazy. No, I'm not gonna order that. I'm gonna have that fresh hot pilsner. I'm that guy. Anyway, anyways, I digress. I digress, man. Now, this beer, what I find interesting about this particular incarnation of the gospel is this finished a little drier than it used to. The aromatics of this beer are just so superb. Oh my gosh, those are just amazing. It almost makes me a fan of the hazy. I'm almost there. But the truth is, yeah. But then when I have the pilsner there, Badgers, oh hell, or the imperial pilsner, or Dunkel, or the Schwartz, thinking, okay, all right. Kind of goes back to my point earlier. There's nothing wrong with going out of the box. There's nothing wrong with just getting crazy and doing some insane styles. But you've got to be able to brew the classics, right? If you can't brew one single classic beer style, well, then you're a sham. Your whole operation's a sham. But here's my problem though, and I love this beer. It's great. My problem is with any beer, to be honest with you, I can't drink more than I've having issues. I don't know if I don't have a gluten allergy. But I've gotten to where I can't drink more than 2 beers at a time anymore. I just get so bloated, I just gotta stop. So I'm gonna stop after this one because 'cause I've really pushed it. I pushed it as far as I can go. So anyway, I am John the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, beloved beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and biscuits and gravy, all around good guy. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Sorry about the glitches. I'm not sure what's going on, but anyways, anyways, I digress. Have a good one. Lunch.